The big game is fast approaching, but wait, you still haven't got your tickets. You've spent hours searching, but you're still confused about ticket prices. Time to stop searching. Visit ticketcompare.com. We compare ticket prices for all the popular leagues and tournaments for you. We work only with the most trustworthy sites, so you can have peace of mind when buying your tickets. Compare prices, buy tickets, get to the game. Ticketcompare.com. Buying tickets made simple.
Well, I kind of expect a similar rival to the first leg with all its virtues. And of course, with all the danger that they carry, you know, it's a team that they can score at any minute. So I don't know exactly what Conte is going to play. I don't know if they're going to, play up high or a little bit more or a little bit less, more at the back. So I'm sure they will vary the way they play depending on the score as well. But of course, the initial result is good for us, but. We have to play our game and not to look at too much of what they're going to do. We'll try to be ourselves.
Sergi Andreu per Catalunya Ràdio.
Sergi Andreu from Catalunya Radio. Could you please tell us about Iniesta, possibilities for him to be in the first 11, or what are the differences if Iniesta is playing from the beginning or not?
Well, he played a big part of the training session yesterday without a problem. We'll see how he feels today, and we will decide according to how he feels. We know it's a very important game, but of course, it's down to the player, and I don't know exactly if he will play or he will not, and because of course it's a game that you have to play if you're 100%.
Marta Ramon from RACU. Tell us about André Gomez. Yesterday we heard about his interview where he was saying that it was difficult for him to manage pressure, that he was going through hell according to his own world. As a manager, how can you help André Gomez, and how does that condition you to choose him as a player or not, once that you know all of this?
Well, it's an act of bravery to admit that, what André Gomez just did. Admitted publicly, of course, because all the players, all the managers, the technical staff, everybody, we have a lot of respect to what. We're very careful not to give out any insecurities or any weaknesses of anyone. So, like I said, it's a very brave act, but it's nothing new. He's not the only one. So I think it's something that has happened to all of us and happens to all of us in, more or less. And it's something that you have to face and something that you have to overcome permanently. And it's a question of pushing forward. That's it. It's not something, it's not something that I haven't found throughout my career as a player or as a manager. So, insisting with André Gomez is a player that recognizes, just like that he has this kind of say psychological weakness right now. Do you think he's ready to play an important game like tomorrow's? Yeah, if the manager thinks he's up for it, of course he will. I mean, at the end of the day, it's just a question of moving forward. And of course, André Gomez has a lot of good qualities. So maybe tomorrow he will be it will be the day that he will give us his best. Not just recently, Sergi Busquets. Just now, Sergi Busquets has claimed for the fans' support for André Gomez. What's your message to the fans in that respect? I've said it many times. The fans have to be conquered, if you like, with your game, with your efforts, with your work rate, with your quality. That's what you got to do. That's what the players have to do, what we all have to do, and the team also has to conquer the fans, let's say. And that's what it's all about. And the fans come to their stadium to support their team, to help them go through to the next stage. And that's it. As a manager, were you aware of how much Andre Gomez was suffering? And I don't know if you are doing, and if you're doing anything special to try to help him. Well, I know my players, more or less. I have spoken to Andre many times about many things. And the manager is always there to help their player in every sense, the players in every sense. So the first thing that a manager has to do is help his team. So all the players have to be there 100%. And of course, we are here to help, and we are going to help him.
Oliveira, TV Globo Brasil.
Are you happy with Paulinho? How can he help tomorrow? Of course, we are happy with Paulinho. He's playing a great season. He's a player that has arrived from a different kind of football. He comes from China, very far away, and very different football to European football. But he's fit in really in a great manner. He's participating and playing a lot. We will see if he plays tomorrow or not. He played in the first leg, but he can score. He provides a good balance in midfield.
We start in London. Could you please give me your assessment of William, his performance against you, how well you thought he played, and did you think he had a mark of a Barcelona player? Not that you'd sign him, but his level of play was very, very high and skillful.
Well, not only in the first leg, he's been playing really great with Chelsea. He's scoring easily. He's finding the back of the net easily. So he's a player that we have to take into account. Those players with that amount of quality and the fine shooting so easily, when they're in a very good streak, they can score easier than in different moments. If they're in a good streak, and he's probably in the best state of in form of the season. I would like to ask you, because you were managing a team in Greece, and this weekend something happened, and you know what happened. And I would like to know your opinion of what you saw on TV. I don't know if you've seen similar things, or you're familiar with that sort of situation. Yeah, I've played games of that kind of caliber, we could say, and I know what it is to play in the Greek league. But derbies are very, very strong, very highly contested games. And it's a strange kind of question, because when the Greek national team plays anywhere, the Greek fans, not make no trouble at all. But at the local games there, especially the derbies where the important teams play, Panathinaikos, PAOK, AAK, are very highly contested matches, and yes, I've seen games like that, of that caliber, that high amount of tension, and I know what it means to be down there. I think everybody in Greece right now are fighting against that kind of situations. I've talked about it many times there because of the image that people abroad, away from Greece, have, or the opinion that they might have had of Greek football. About they're very passionate people, of course. They live football very passionately, but you cannot really exceed yourself. Of course, the Greeks are very, grateful, generous people, but football drives them crazy. You said in the first question, the first answer, you have a feeling that they're going to play more or less in the same way as in Stamford Bridge. It looks like a handball game, left to right, right to left. Barca is not comfortable against something like that. I don't know if you have the key to try to break that lock. And do you think that's where all the players are in the front, of the area? I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. There are many. Chelsea's a team that manages a lot of different ways of playing. They can play on the wings. They can put a lot of pressure very high up. I think that they did something like that in London throughout in the middle of the game. But we know that when they move back, take a step back, I know they're very well organized and they have very good individuals, very good players. So it's very difficult, not only for us, but just for any team that faces them. So we will try to beat them in any case. We will try to find a secret formula. I don't think I don't think we have it, but just to keep working, keep pushing, keep trying. But of course, it's a double-edged sword. The fact that we cannot really be on top of them for the whole match, because I think the last season they were the teams with more counterattacks of the whole Premier League. So I imagine that for any manager, the next game, the game at hand, is always the most important one. This is probably the most important match you've managed Barcelona for in this year, right? Well, of course, it's a tie. This is the nature of the game. Even in the league, a week ago, we played a game against Atletico Madrid. That was very important too. It wasn't a decisive game as it is tomorrow, but in the end, it was very important 3 points. So it is obvious that, like I said before, one team is going to be out tomorrow, and the other one is going to go on. So that makes that extra importance. That gives it that extra importance, of course.
Fins ara, al voltant dels jugadors que sortien de lesions o que tenien molèsties.
Jordi Grau from TV3. When there's been injuries, all players have been, all of the injuries have been treated in a very cautious manner. With Piqué, we said that it was a risky situation. Tomorrow, is it a situation to risk it with Iniesta?
It is clear that when a game like this, like a game of no return, we could say, the player always is more willing to play it, of course. But the question is the risk excessive or not? So this is what we need to take into consideration. If the risk is very big or it's not clear. So we will see. Did you get nervous how Conte lives the games, how intense he is? No, I wasn't really looking at him. I was looking at the way my team was playing.
Buenas tardes, Ernesto. Santi Cheron del Sin Concesiones de RKB.
I wanted to ask you about Arthur, but because they say that Barca has an option to buy him, and in case he's finally bought, what could Arthur bring to the team that you haven't got? Oh, well, I don't think we should go that fast or that far. It is true that the club has been following for a while now, and we have an option to maybe buy him in the future. So we will see, like you say, if that option is executed or not, and when it is executed. In any case, it's an interesting player with a bright future, but my future, I don't know what's it going to be after tomorrow's game. What I want to say is a manager lives day by day. So talking about long-term future for us is next month, not in 3 years' time. So I don't know what's going to happen.
¿Hasta qué punto crees que?
To which extent do you think that Dembélé was reinforced after the last game? Well, when in Malaga, when a player plays a good game and feels comfortable on the pitch, it's just very important for him to gain or regain his confidence. Of course, Malaga was played with 10 players for a little while, but the important part of their game, the initial part of the game when we sorted the game out or we finished the game, that's when he was playing really well. He's a very important player, and it's a very good one more step for this player. And in Barca's last 10 games, Barca has scored 10 games, 6 against Girona. Are you worried about maybe the team not scoring against teams like Chelsea, who can score with the dead ball at any time? I'm not worried about statistics. I'm worried about how dangerous Chelsea can be on the counter-attack. They're really well organised. They have plenty of virtues. They have players like Hazard that can shoot from anywhere on the pitch. But not because of those statistics about scoring goals against which teams. I'm only worried about what Chelsea's got.
Muy buenas, David Bernabeu de Mediaset Sport España.
You arrived this season, obviously. You watched Barca on telly or whatever from a distance in past seasons. The team has won one Champions League in the last 6 years. Do you think it's a poor balance, given the fact that the best player in history, Leo Messi, is playing for Barca? And do you think the dressing room sees that they have this competition has a debt to them? We don't think of that. We see this as an opportunity. Just like any other team in the competition, of course, we're all fighting to move forward and go on to the next stage, and we have an opportunity to do that tomorrow. As for what you said, we don't really value that sort of thing. We don't really think of that. This is your first year. Your team is going really well in the league. You're really well in the cup. You have options to go to the next stage in the Champions League. Would you like the club to offer you? Do you expect anything from the club, like offering you a renovation? No, not really. I don't think about that. Look, talking about the best player in the world, Leo Messi. How do you see him after he got arrested for the previous game? Do you think he's motivated after the good news he received this week? He's very happy. He looks really content, and I see him just as anyone else, really looking forward to this game, because I know that in the Champions League, players are especially motivated.
No va poder entrenar ahir per un cop.
Sergio Roberto could not play yesterday. What about tomorrow? Is he going to be in the match?
No, I think he will be fit. He was a precaution that Sergio Roberto didn't train yesterday, but I think he will be fit for tomorrow.